Our channel features stories from real life. Subscribe so you don't miss out.
When the first message came, I thought it was a prank. I was sitting in the car at the shopping center, waiting for Elena and the kids. They went inside to pick out a gift for her father, and I stayed to wait. At this time, I usually check my mail or the news. The phone vibrated, message from an unknown number. "Do you know what your wife does when you're on a business trip?" I frowned. No name, no explanation, just that phrase, like it was ripped from a cheap thriller. Thought it was spam. Or someone's evil joke, deleted. But the thought remained. It settled inside, like a splinter that you can't see, but feel with every movement. I am 37. I am an aviation safety engineer. I work for a large contractor. Our projects are partly for state programs, partly for private airlines. Life is built like a blueprint. Elena and I have been together for almost 10 years. We have 2 children, Ava, who is 7 and in first grade, and Jacoby, who is 3 and has just started speaking in sentences. Elena is a music teacher at an elementary school. She is beautiful, slender, with lively eyes and a smile that once seemed to me the warmest thing a woman could have. She has the hands of a pianist and a habit of adjusting her hair when she is nervous. Our house in the suburbs is not luxurious, but cozy. White siding, a terrace, a lawn, a trampoline for the kids. In the evenings, we gathered as a family. She cooked lasagna, the children drew, I read the news or checked the project. And everything seemed right. I began to notice that she often held her phone with the screen down. At first, I didn't pay attention. Everyone has the right to personal space. But one day, when I passed by the bedroom, she abruptly hid the phone under the pillow. "What are you hiding?" I grinned, stopping at the door. "It's nothing," she smiled. "It's just... You still won't understand my correspondence with Kelly. It's about nails, boobs, and stupid students." She said it easily, with a smile, and something pricked inside me. Then there was the fitness story. She signed up for yoga 3 times a week. She came back late, tired, but, in her own way, enlivened, as if she wasn't just stretching her muscles, but learning to breathe again. In bed, she became distant. She lay next to me, as if out of habit. Short touches, automatic kisses. Sometimes I woke up at night and heard her typing, or quietly speaking into the microphone. One day I couldn't take it anymore. "Who were you talking to yesterday at 3 in the morning?" It was Kelly. She was having a panic attack. I was calming her down. "Kelly, there she is again. A friend I've never met in person. On Wednesday evening we were watching a TV series. Elena settled down on the sofa, covered herself with a blanket, and laid her head on my shoulder. The phone vibrated. The same unknown SMS. "Robert, Red Ford. Friday, motel by the highway. She was there. Want a picture?" Robert, there was only one Robert in our neighborhood. He lived 2 houses away from us, divorced, about 40, balding. I didn't know him well. He said hello, hello on the street, nothing more. I looked at my wife. She had fallen asleep. Her face was calm, her lips slightly parted. How can you sleep knowing that you're lying? I saved the number, and for the first time I didn't delete anything. I said that I had been called to the shop for a night check. Elena nodded. She hugged me. She smiled, the same smile that I had fallen in love with many years ago. But now it seemed forced, artificial. I arrived at the motel on the highway at 5:40 p.m. I sat in the parking lot of a nearby restaurant and waited. At 18:09, a red Ford pulled up. Robert. I recognized him at first sight. He got out, straightened his jacket, looked at his watch. 20 minutes later, a black Mazda CX-5. Her car, she came out, in a grey coat. Her hair was pulled back. Her face was tense but determined. They didn't kiss. They just quickly went inside. I sat motionless, feeling the blood drain from my fingers. I didn't sleep all night. I got out of the car when they were both gone, separately, as if that made any difference. I got home around midnight. The house was asleep. Coldplay concert tour. On her bedside table was the book she had supposedly been reading for the past few weeks. The book was open to the same page as 2 weeks ago. I sat down on the edge of the bed. I stretched out my hand, not to her, to myself. To who I am. I have never been hysterical, hot-tempered. There has always been order and logic in me, but that night, for the first time, I did not know what to do with this pain. The next day, I took Jake to kindergarten. He was telling me about how he built a Lego house and how the girl with pigtails gave him an apple. "Dad, are you angry? Why did you decide so?" "Because your eyes are sad." I was silent. Then I said, "Daddy's not mad, baby. Daddy's just thinking. But I'm here. Always here." He nodded and hugged me around the neck. I inhaled his scent, childish, honest, alive, and I understood. Only for their sake I must do everything right, without hysterics, without screaming, without blood. On Sunday evening, a new message arrived, from the same anonymous person. "You saw, you know. Don't be silent. She's playing with you. Do you want to know who else knows?" I didn't answer, but I made a copy of the entire correspondence, saved it on a flash drive, put it together with a printout of her car routes. I installed an app that tracks her GPS. Everything matched. All the yoga, meetings with Kelly, everything exactly according to the motel schedule. I created a separate email. I started saving everything there: correspondence, screenshots, photos from the camera at the entrance, call logs. Every day I felt I am no longer a victim. I am becoming a surgeon, and she is a disease that needs to be removed. I set up a hidden camera in the living room. During the hours I left for work, new faces would occasionally appear. Once, Robert. Once, a man I didn't know. They didn't stay long. 15 minutes, 20, quick meetings. I watched this and felt no pain, only a clear awareness. The person with whom I share a roof has long since left. The body is here, but the soul is no longer nearby. I met with the lawyer. He was laconic. "Do you want guardianship? Complete. Then we act. You can't make mistakes. Keep your cool, and under no circumstances give her a reason to blame you." We started asset transfers, account fixing, house re-registration. Everything is legally clean, but without leaving her any leverage. I submitted a DNA test, just in case. Both children are mine. It didn't ease the pain, but it gave me a point of reference. I arranged a dinner, for friends, for parents, for her family. She didn't suspect anything. She was happy, dressed up, cooking salmon, pouring wine, laughing. When we sat down at the table, I raised my glass. "Friends, I'm glad you're all here. Because I have an important announcement." Everyone fell silent. I took several folders out of the drawer and handed them out across the table. "What you are about to read is my wife's story, the story of the last 4 months. Correspondence, photos, videos. All her yogas, Kelly, and work meetings." Elena turned pale. She rushed to the table, tried to snatch the folders, shouted something. No one stopped her. "I'm filing for divorce. I have custody. The children shouldn't see lies. Thank you." I left. For the first time, calmly. The trial lasted 2 months. Her lawyer tried to play on emotions, on cruel exposure, on public humiliation. But the facts were on my side. The judge, a middle-aged woman, did not hesitate. "Ms. Hale, you have systematically deceived your spouse, exposed your children to moral risk, and used family resources to commit adultery. The court recognizes Mr. Hale's paternity and grants him primary custody. Your contact with the children is limited to 2 days a month, under the supervision of a curator. The possibility of review no earlier than in a year." Her scream in the courtroom was short. Her cry was long. I didn't look at her. A year has passed. I still live in the same house, now with children. We have learned to fall asleep together. I cook breakfast, teach Ava to play chess. Jake draws monsters and says, "Dad, we are a family, right?" "Yes, baby," I answer. "We're a real family." Sometimes I see Elena, at the store or from afar in the park. She has lost weight. She walks quickly, does not look around. Yesterday I received a message from the same anonymous number. "You did everything right. Don't lose yourself. Just don't become like her." I smiled and deleted the number, because now I know pain is curable, betrayal is forgotten, and love for children remains forever.